10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Chapter systems are offline.
Welcome to the Banter Club. Join myself, Mark, along with TY, Jackie, and Mahal as we talk all things sport. We will definitely trash your team, and if you don't like it, we'll definitely tell you your favorite footballer is a tax evader. Join us every week on the Banter Club.
Are we really doing this?
Of course, we are, definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. It is the Banter Club SA once again, your number one sports podcast in the land of South Africa. We are back with another amazing episode. Exciting news. It's been a very, very exciting week in sports. I really can't wait to dive into it. But I'm not alone. I'm with Una in the building. Una, how you doing?
I'm good, man. What's up, man?
Oh, man, absolutely amazing. Mark, how you doing there, natural?
I'm super. I should probably just say 2 times.
We'll see you on Sunday if you're still super. Jackie, my fellow Sandawana, how you doing?
What's up, Kabielo?
Absolutely amazing. But before we start the podcast, I just want to remind you, please like, follow, retweet, hashtag, subscribe. Please, YouTube, Facebook, it doesn't matter where you go, Twitter, just like, subscribe, and make sure that you tell your people that we are live each and every single week. We give you a brand new episode once a week. This is episode 9, and we're doing some amazing things on this episode. We're talking mostly football, but we're going to be having some CSA talk as well. It's been an amazing week in football this past week. There's been the announcement of the Super League. And, it's been tricky. UEFA just switched their format as well into a league format instead of doing the groups as well. Let me start with you, Una. What are your thoughts on the Super League? What's been going on? Please balance us here.
I was just waiting for the dates of when it's going to begin. That whole FIFA and UEFA throwing their toys at the playground was just not on. Because literally that's what FIFA and UEFA have been doing for decades now. Exactly what the Super League trying to do. Trying to secure themselves financially. So I think it was actually going to be exciting because if you think about it, the Italian league, it's on the rise, but before, usually it was the 3 teams that were going to join the Super League. So that was going to be some more excitement in terms of them playing big games almost every other week. And also with the La Liga. La Liga is actually a very decent league. You do have the other teams playing besides the top 3.
But Una, slow down. Let's break it down. If I've never heard of the Super League before, let's just break down what is Super League and how does it disrupt football as we know it.
The Super League was going to be made up, since we're talking in past tense now, was going to be made up of the super teams that almost everyone around the globe know of. Your Real Madrid, your Barcelona, your Juventus, your Arsenal. Yes, it's a big team. Yeah, apparently. Chelsea.
Apparently.
Yeah, lately I'm starting to question that even though I'm a supporter. You have your Man U, your Man City, somehow even Tottenham, like it's form or something, and they just wanted to be part of the rest, but they were also included in there. So what was going to happen is that it was going to be an addition to what they're already. They were not going to exit the leagues they were in. That was the initial plan. And they were not going to exit from the Champions League. They were just adding on the schedule. I think in terms of finances, it was going to be good for those teams. But in terms of the players, it was not going to be good. If you think about it, they're already on a busy schedule and you add in something, more games on that schedule. And I don't think it was going to be very good for the players. And in terms of big games every other week, it was going to be exciting at first, which is why I was looking forward to it. But I think we would have been fatigued after a while because every big game, like same teams playing each other all the time. Nah.
I hear you. Mark, your thoughts on this one?
Honestly, if we're being honest, it would have been great. I think for the neutrals, like us in Africa, in America, in South, I think it would have been amazing because if you really think about it, those teams that appear there are teams that we all support here in our outside of Europe. So it would have been very exciting for us because I mean all our teams would be playing essentially. And unfortunately, though, I think the downside to it is that it wouldn't actually have developed football. There wouldn't be those fairy tales that actually make football what it is. And I think that would have been very sad. But at the same time, it's like on a random Tuesday, then you get Real Madrid against Barcelona, and it's not a league game. You're getting PSG, if they wanted to be part of it, it would be like a PSG Chelsea as a midweek game. So I mean, those would have been titanic clashes. So slightly sad that it's not happening, but I also understand that it would have. I think had they maybe spoken to the leagues beforehand, tried to get a compromise, maybe have a like what I think what probably also made UEFA angry is that UEFA is gonna include a new competition. I just forgot what it's called, but it's going to be Champions League and then Europa League, and then I think it's called Conference or something. But there would be a third tier of the Champions League, of which I believe they should have just said within the Super League, maybe just work around it better, where it's not so exclusive, and make it a thing whereby you only get the top teams in the Super League of UEFA Super League. And then you have the Champions League or whatever league you have under the Super League, whereby your almost second tier, top tier, like your Arsenals would be, the Vela League of the Champions League. So I think maybe they could have worked around it. Then,
Oh, as for Arsenal, I don't understand why Arsenal was included in the Super League. It's not a super team. But Jackie, before I come to you, I just want to read this real quick.
TY. There's Tottenham. Pick on Tottenham, not Arsenal.
I don't know, man. You guys are sort of like, same level, same WhatsApp group. I don't know. My opinion.
Tottenham Spurs haven't won anything like, oh, well, yeah, their kids were born before born after Tottenham won a trophy, and they're like,
have they won anything?
Yeah, they have.
What did they win?
This I want to know.
They won something. I kid you not, they won something.
Was it
I googled
tournament? Imba win the Vodacom Cup, Vodacom Challenge.
No, man, you can't count games against
Makufeya, you go England.
What?
You guys are
like, Mark, do you think Spurs has won anything? Like, since
Why not?
Okay, let me tell you. Tottenham has won the league.
When?
In 1950.
So neither of us were born here.
Born, apparently it was still on the Bryce stand. It was still marinating.
They won the FA Cup 8 times.
When last?
1991.
Okay, that's not really far.
The Premier League was starting.
I was not even born. But anyway.
They won the League Cup 4 times. The last one was in 2008.
Really?
Yes. Come on, guys. Put some respect.
You're probably talking about the under 21 there.
No, legit. Dude, Tottenham is like that. You know your favorite musician that's just bubbling under but never really makes it. That guy that's always but never really hits the peak. I was gonna drop names, but he's a client of mine. I can't drop his name. But there's just those artists that are always buzzing, but they never really,
Can you believe that Harry Kane, what Kane has been doing for that team ever since? He's never won anything.
Yeah, man. Harry Kane does not have a trophy to his name
because of
Tottenham.
a small team.
But that's called up. Let me just say this real quick, right? Let me just read this out to you, Jackie. Before I get your thoughts on the Super League, right? So the English Premier League, right, was founded as the FA Premier League on 20 February, following the decision of clubs in the football First Division League to break away from the Football League, which was founded in 1888, and take advantage of a lucrative television deal. Does this not sound like Super League? Does it not sound like the same thing the Premier League did via with what COVID has just happened? So these clubs are doing exactly what EPL did in 1992. And I mean, I feel like it was going to be great had they done it properly. Jackie, what are your thoughts on this? Should they break out? Should they stay in their respective leagues in the Champions League? Give me your thoughts real quick.
Just to also add on what you said, I feel as if those clubs, they felt indebted and felt less protected by UEFA and the ECA. So I was actually so excited, man. Imagine watching City and Chelsea every single week and Real Madrid every single week. It would have been something very exciting. But at the same time, we have to go back to the early 90s. This is where it really began. Because remember, in 1998, Italian company wanted to create this whole thing, a European Super League, but they decided not to do it because of the expansion of the Champions League, né? And the abolishment of the Club Winners' Cup. So it's been there. It's been there. I even remember there was a time where former Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger even mentioned in the next couple of years expect an European Super League. So we were expecting sometime, but it was very, for me, it was going to be very, very exciting. But I think at the same time, the timing was just a little bit off. I think they should have just waited for probably the next couple of years, because you just maybe it was more of a financial decision more than the fact that we want to break away from the leadership here, UEFA and the ECA. But I have a feeling that because UEFA likes to be very in control, they might create something similar in the next couple of years. But I also asked myself this question: if this idea or the whole concept was a UEFA competition, or UEFA's idea or FIFA's idea, nobody was going to be complaining right now.
Yes.
But because it was created by independent clubs who want to be free from the control of UEFA, the control of the ECA, it now creates a lot of problems. People think it's boardroom talk. It's because of money. People don't care about the development of football. That could be the case. But at the same time, it has to be 50-50. What if they try to negotiate with UEFA, they try to negotiate with FIFA, and they decided otherwise? So it's a very tricky situation. But honestly speaking, I was very excited.
Man, I'm still excited. I really, really hope it gets to happen. I honestly hope the Super League gets to happen at some point in the near future, because we definitely do need something like that. Una, your thoughts real quick?
Jackie asked about the timing. How old is Perez, Madrid's president? Isn't he like 80 or something, 74? Do you think he has time to wait? When Philip Utamaile, Lisbeth, like sure, maybe they no more departure loud. So timing, man, there's nothing about timing in terms of football. I think right now it's ripe. We need all the football we need. After that whole gap we had with COVID, with the lockdown first time around, I think the time with terms of timing, yes, I agree with everyone in terms of their approach. They should have maybe went to the table with UEFA and FIFA, whatever, and discuss this beforehand. But yeah, I think right now we need all the football we can get.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Guys, it would be really interesting to hear what you guys think, because one of Motsepe's point in terms of his campaign running for CAF president was establishing a Super League in Africa. So what do you think in terms of a Super League in Africa as opposed to the one that nearly happened in Europe?
I think the issue.
Okay, go for it, Jackie.
I think the issue for me, and it's the same thing as I think UEFA in particular, they are scared of the fact that having a Super League will now replace the Champions League. Then what will be the purpose of a Champions League? You understand what I mean? That's why they're now thinking of extending the Champions League. You get me? Now, having a Super League could affect that. It's like to an extent you'd be replacing the Champions League. But going back to your question on having an African Super League, no. Guys, some teams will make it for no reason. Imagine Kaizer Chiefs Super League one. Let's respect other teams in future. I think it's fine when we have.
What you're saying is exactly my point. My problem with the Super League, especially in Africa, is not having the Super League. It's the selection of teams in the Super League. How do we decide who gets to play in there, who does not get to play in there? I mean, and also would come second in the league. Do they get to play in the Super League? The answer is definitely no, because their performance in the PSL is terrible. They're not a super team on the continent, you know. But then who gets to make that Kaizer Chiefs is not a super team and they are not? You know what I mean? I mean, it's like Arsenal and Tottenham. How did they even make it into the Super League list? Nobody knows.
Unless they introduce a prerequisite or requirement for teams to actually make it to the Super League. For example, you can say that looking at the last five seasons, we look at whether or not the team has been competing in the CAF Champions League or the UEFA Champions League, and they have been performing the same way. In the CAF Champions, they have a specific number of points on determining the number of teams that are going to play in the Champions League the next season. So, if, for example, if you reach the semi-finals, you're guaranteed to have at least 2 spots for your country next season. If they introduce such a system, maybe that could work. But in Europe,
just saying that they should just re-look at the Champions League, the way it's structured right now, and just reshape it, because what you're saying is continue with what you have, not a Super League as per se, because the Super League does not have any form of relegation or changing of teams every other season.
Yeah.
No. Honestly speaking, I feel like leave the Champions League as it is, because the Champions League gives everybody a fair chance. But a Super League, let it just be the Super African teams. Let it just be the African Giants alone. Let it be your Wydad Casablanca, your Al-Ahlis, your teams that get to compete in the Champions League semi-finals and finals each and every single season on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? Yeah, so leave the Champions League as it is, but have a certain league just for the top-tier teams across the continent.
Yeah, but Tiwa, who makes it to the Super League now? Who makes it to what is the requirement, though?
Yeah, I feel you.
You can't say that a team like, for example, I'm going to use Kaizer Chiefs again, because Chiefs, they only started performing this season in the Champions League. You can't say now they have to be part of the Super League. Based on what? You understand what I mean? Exactly. Unless if you look at the
first time in the quarterfinals, even they can't.
Yeah, exactly. Unless if you look at the last couple of seasons, based on the winners of the Champions League, then you decide fine which teams are going to be part of the Super League. But now to say a team like Kaizer Chiefs, a team like Cape Town City, for example, is going to be part of the Super League, based on what? They have not achieved anything in the African continent, yeah?
Now, you said, I hear what you're saying. Now, my issue is that with Kaizer Chiefs, you're using Kaizer Chiefs as an example. Now, let's look at this way. Kaizer Chiefs never took CAF seriously. And the only season that they took CAF seriously, they're in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Now, what does that say about CAF?
Does that mean the Super
What does that say about Champions League?
What does it say about the Champions League? You tell me.
This team hasn't been taking this competition seriously, and the only season that they take it seriously, they go to the quarterfinals. To me, it's a lot of.
no. Let me put it to you. Let me put it to you this way. Right? It's the very first time Kaizer Chiefs have actually reached the group stages. It's the very first time the Kaizer Chiefs have actually reached quarterfinals. Right?
True.
Now, reaching the quarterfinals is something that I feel like in Africa it's very special. But now, in terms of football, you look at the teams you were with in that group. You get what I'm saying? There was only one other team that qualifies as a super team in that group. Had you guys been drawn against Wydad and Al Ahly and another super team, do you think Chiefs would be where it is right now? The answer is definitely no. I mean, the teams you guys were drawn against are mediocre teams at the end of the day.
Roy has been making it to the knockout stages for many years now.
Do me a favor, Ona. Name one South African team that's ever beaten Horoya. Name one South African team. Any team in the PSL that's beaten Horoya right now.
Horoya didn't qualify for the knockout stages, but Kaizer Chiefs did make it. A team that was not taking this league seriously.
But what I'm saying is, not a single South African team has ever beaten Horoya, which shows you how good Horoya actually is. That's why they always make it to the quarterfinals. South African teams struggle against Horoya. The best we get against the draw.
That just goes back to what I'm saying, that a team that has been making it to the knockout stages every other season didn't make it through, whereas a team that just took this tournament seriously this season went through.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Ona.
Okay.
Because you took the Champions League series this season, does it mean if we decide to have a Super League, an African Super League, Kaizer has to be there this season, based on the season's performance?
The answer is no.
Because I think for me, the key word here, and listen to me very well, the key word is consistency.
Okay. Do you think in terms of, let's go back to, let's use this lens of the European Super League.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of Spurs' performance in the Champions League, do you think they deserve to be a Super League team?
No.
They were in the final a season ago. But they're in the finals.
But they were part of the Super League formation.
Yeah, but now this is okay, sharp. But Ona, I think you're forgetting.
They were part of the Super League in terms of the formation that was going to happen. Also,
exactly.
Counts for Arsenal. It's because of the type of brand and the institution that they are in European football.
Yeah,
Even
but
being
remember,
consistent throughout in the Champions League, but somehow they made it because of the type of brand and the institution that they are, which is exactly what's going to happen in Africa if you to establish a Super League. Because now the other reasoning for the Super League was that they're getting more broadcasting out there in the world. And you cannot bring Ajax. Ajax is a big institution. They've been consistent throughout, but they don't bring in numbers because
this goes back to my question. What is the criteria for joining the Super League?
My point exactly.
What is the criteria for joining the Super League? Because I mean, if you look at a team like Tottenham has reached the Champions League final at least once in their history. You know what I mean? Kaizer Chiefs is reaching the quarterfinals for the first time. We could call it beginner's luck.
Kaizer Chiefs has played in the Super Cup, by the way.
Did they win? They win.
They lost to
Champions League final, not Super Cup. Champions League final.
They lost it. For you to get to a Super Cup final in Africa, you need to have won at least one of the two big trophies, continental trophies. Kaizer Chiefs.
But now, Ona, you see, now you're opening up a different kind of worms. That's like saying that European teams that have been in the league.
You said Tottenham has made it to the Champions League final. When was that?
It was the season Liverpool won it, which is the season before last. It was like a year or two ago.
Are we talking about Spurs here?
Yes, Liverpool beat them in the finals when Liverpool won the Champions League.
But then again, what do you expect, guys? This guy's an Arsenal fan. He won't know that Tottenham was in the final.
Final with Tottenham.
Winner. if you look
Tottenham was
at
in the 2019 Champions League. 2019 Champions League final was Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspurs. That was the final. You know what I mean? So in terms of being there, up there with the best, they've proven their worth to them.
It's one of those races
but not
where the weakest teams get to make to reach finals. Okare
Exactly.
the net in South Africa.
But it's the same as Kaizer Chiefs reaching the quarterfinals. Exactly the same point. No,
But like I was saying, essentially the Super League was more of a money-making scheme for the teams based on what they bring in on the table, which are numbers. Those numbers which will bring in the broadcasting numbers and essentially bring back the money. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm leaning towards, that the Super League was not motivated in terms of performance. If you're talking performance, how the heck did Arsenal make it? I'm an Arsenal fan, but I also don't see how they made it. So that's what I'm saying. In Africa, it should be, if it's going to be the same thing, then I don't see why Kaizer Chiefs can't make it.
but that's exactly my problem. It goes back to my point of what is the criteria. Are we going on brand strength or are we going on performance? That is the key thing. Are we looking at teams that are making the finals or are we looking at teams that are the biggest on the continent in terms of fans? What are we looking at in terms of an African Super League? What do we look at? You know, that is the key thing. And for me, having a Super League, I'm not against having a Super League, but what is the criteria?
If you go through consistency in terms of the Champions League, you won't get people watching that thing. Trust me. I can ask you about, are you going to watch this team from Botswana? There's a team from Botswana. It made it to the quarterfinals about 2 seasons back. Township Rollers. If Township Rollers against Nakana, was it Nkana or something from Zambia? Are you going to watch that match?
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Yes.
You know what I think should happen?
Yes,
you know what I think should happen?
Of the agenda that you try to push.
I honestly believe, this is my honest opinion, right?
Okay.
I honestly believe if we're going to create a league, let's take the top 10, top 8 African teams in terms of ranking. You know what I mean? Put those teams up there. I mean, the top 5 teams right now in Africa is Al Ahly number 1, Esperance Tunis, ES Tunis number 2 from Tunisia, Mamelodi Sundowns is 3rd, Zamalek is 4th, TP Mazembe is 5th. Those are the top 5 strongest teams in Africa. And you've got teams like Wydad Casablanca, you've got AS Vita.
Also put them through, even in terms of brand, put them through.
I don't know. I think this debate could last the whole hour. Guys, no. Let's put a pause on this debate. Let's put a pause on it. What are your thoughts? Let's put a pause on it, yeah?
Yeah, I think we should move on with this.
Okay, cool. Let's just move on real quick. So breaking news right now: SAFA will no longer be announcing the Bafana coach. They said they will announce tomorrow, which is supposed to be a Saturday. They were supposed to announce it tomorrow, but they're not. They claim the postponement is due to global COVID-19 travel issues. So the coach would have to travel, obviously, globally. So which means that the coach that is coming to coach Bafana is not African, in my opinion. It's going to be someone from international. Rumor is it's Carlos Queiroz. Mark, what are your thoughts on the Bafana coach?
Man. Safa is going to appoint a coach, and then the coach is going to maybe get a few good results in the beginning, and then we're going to love the coach. The next thing, the coach does not pick Pesitau, and then the whole country hates him. He loses 3 games, and then Safa fires him. I feel like that's what's going to happen. It's always happened like that. So it's I think they've just basically delayed the inevitable. A coach is not going to fix Bafana. Bafana is a very deep problem, and people at SAFA first need to resign before Bafana can be fixed. So look, I'm not even surprised that they don't even consider the fact that whoever they chose would have to now travel and be in quarantine and whatnot. So, I mean, those are the small things that they overlook. I mean, they've disappointed us in the past. They're disappointing us now with a simple announcement. So,
Yeah.
but anywho, it'll be very interesting. Could be because everybody is saying that it's probably Kirosh. So it'll be interesting to see him back in the country. But also at the same time, what has he achieved? Because he did well with Iran, if I remember vaguely. So it'll be interesting what he does with us. So I can't wait to see Kirosh back in South Africa to see what he does and how the public is going to hate him at some point.
Yo, Ona, give me your thoughts real quick.
I think with like what Mark said, if the coach that is coming in, if the boardroom is not looking good, the climate is just not set for the coach to actually do well. It's been like that. Even the consultant who was coaching Bafana recently, how can I get school teacher? Ne? But let me call him a consultant. He was consulting them by Bafana. The consultant who was consulting them by Bafana. He won the first two games, I think, if I remember properly. And people thought, hey, we having a developmental coach. He's going to he's going to bring into these young players who are going to take the national team further. And then he started losing. Next thing, he's gone. I think it will be the same trend, even with the new coach. If the boardroom is not looking good, it won't be a good climate. But if it's Carlos Queiroz, Cuesta. Queiroz. Ow.
For the sake of the podcast, we'll call him Cuesta. Carlos Cuesta.
Carlos Cuesta. If it's him, remember when he came to South Africa first time around, he came with a document, I think, was it about 40 pages, and he presented it to the national team. And it was a very good document which literally just ironed out how the national team should go into phases, starting from school development into junior national teams and Bafana. How are we going to take those players from from school development up to Bafana and build a national team? And it was a project, I think, for about 4 years. And they didn't get the support to actually implement that plan. Before you know it, he was fired before the World Cup, and Jomo Sono took us there. He took the same document, he took it to the US national team. Look where the US national team is. It's still not the biggest team out there, but the US national team is spoken as one of the big national teams out there. He also took the same document to the Iran national team. And look where the Iran national team is. A few years ago, you wouldn't think of Iran playing at the World Cup, but they were at the World Cup because of that same document that Bafana had on their desk, and they didn't implement. So I think if you can bring in someone like that who has a plan, who has a vision, it can help Bafana. But like what Mark said, if people don't resign in the boardroom, yeah, no.
It's done for. Jackie, come in.
Yeah, I'm tired of talking about that. Same situation every day. But anyway, man, I agree with both.
Kenny Jordan must go. Can we please establish that, gents?
Guys, if you have a federation that is led by a politician, and I think it's Una said a couple of weeks ago, where a certain person is not a leader. He's a politician. He runs the federation as if a political party. Nothing will change. And that's one of the reasons why your Peter Msimang doesn't want to coach Bafana, because of that person. Nothing's going to change here. Nothing's going to change. Carlos Anu, and like Mark and Una said, he's going to get good results first couple of games. And then, like, your people, they like to a specific person, Orlando Pirates, who's doing the same thing, Jay-Z. They're going to try and do the same thing, and then they're going to fire him, and we're going to go back to the same problem all over and over again. If I was the government right now, I was probably going to say, you know what, let me do what the Nigerian government did a couple of years back. Ban Bafana for 2-3 years, restructure everything completely, because we're making the same problem, the same mistakes all over and over again. So it won't change. It won't change whatsoever, because we're still led by people who have been there since, in fact, way before the 2010 FIFA World Cup, who don't even know the vision of Bafana, who don't even understand the vision of Bafana, who don't want to develop the South African national team. And Una also raised a good point where every single national coach of Bafana leaves a document outlining everything you are fine. And this is an important aspect that you need to iron out. But it seems as if those documents, they don't even go through them or whatsoever, even check them out, because they think they know better. So I don't know, man. Even if they bring Jose Mourinho, who's available right now, nothing will change. Nothing will change. We're just wasting money as always.
Yeah. I saw there were tweets saying defund Bafana, man. Just simply defund Bafana. Put the money towards education.
Yeah, couldn't Nathi Mthethwa implement Section 13 on Bafana? Like, CSA ka ebona, man. South Africa ebona, man. Hey, but Bafana is on another level, man. Yeah. He should have just defunded the SAFA altogether. I was going to agree. But, hey, because maybe Lena on a lady connections to a certain person Kamula a SAFA. Maybe he doesn't want to fund it, yeah.
But I mean, it's tricky. I mean, this guy, he's the NEC. He's trying to be part of the ANC NEC. He's trying to be part of what is this thing called? He's trying to be part of CAF. He's trying to be part of SAFA. He's the mayor of. He's trying to be the mayor of Kabeja. This guy's just doing too much. It's impossible to focus just on SAFA. Una, don't you want to come in there?
Remember, SAFA developed Vision 2022 way back. This year it's 2021. And one of the points that the Vision 22 had was world-class admin. The other was sound governance. And yeah, when you think about it, and you think about former mayor of Quebec, I hope I said it right, my people in Eastern Cape. When you think of Danny Jordan, and you think of world-class admin and sound governance in 2021, looking at Vision 2022, it's really disappointing. Some of the visions that they had for Vision 2022 were really great. I think South Africa, I think this is across the board, and not only in sport, I think also in politics. It's a situation of we are very good in drafting documents and plans on all things, but implementation, implementation. Cool time. What's that other one? What's that one? This other one. It's like you taking something that is very good, which is cool time. Instead of improving it, you just regress. And that's exactly what's happening there by SAFA. I mean, like Jackie said, defund Bafana. Maybe they should do what Sports South Africa, Department of Sports is doing to cricket. They say maybe they should just not recognize SAFA as the national body anymore, and we start from ground zero and rebuild.
I agree with you there. Let's rebuild. Remove SAFA, really freaking build. I mean, Danny Jordan brought in the system of canceling the School of Excellence. I mean, why would you do that? Like, that's the most frustrating thing ever. All right, can we move on real quick though? Let's talk about the PSL real quick. I want to talk about the relegation battle right now. It seems like Black Leopards is going back to the NFD at this point in time. 23 games, 14 points. The team above them, Chipo United, is on 17 points after the same amount of games. Kaizer Chiefs is sitting at number, I can't find them in the top 8, not top 9, not top 10. Oh, they're number 11. So my bad. Gents, what are your thoughts on the relegation battle right now? What's going on? Chipa, United, Morocco FC, TTM fighting the relegation battle. Who's getting relegated, in your opinion? Like it's a rough there at the bottom. Let me start there with Jackie.
Black Leopard, ne, is one team I can guarantee, ne, and I said it at the beginning of our recordings. I think I said in episode 2 that Black Leopard is going to be relegated this season. The same with Chipa United. Chipa United, as much as they went to the finals, going to the finals of the Nedbank Cup, they'll be playing in the playoff come the end of the season. One team that is really, it seems as if they might just get momentum after beating Mamelodi Sundowns on penalties. TTM, I think TTM may just have enough just to go remain in the Premiership. Maritzburg also, led by Thabiso Kutumela, they may also just make it in the DSV Premiership. But one thing I also must not also forget, a team like Kaizer Chiefs, for example, is not far off from the bottom. As much as they've got a game in hand, the Kaizer Chiefs currently has 26 points? 26 points
25.
and 25 points. Hey, can I extra point? 25 points. 25 points. They lead Black Leopards by 11 points. And if Chiefs don't start getting results, they might just end up being at the bottom also probably fighting for relegation because they're not performing, man. They're not getting points. But I still maintain that Black Leopards is going to be automatically relegated and Chipa will probably play in the playoffs.
It's a tricky one, man. I mean, it's only 3 points between the two teams. And it's funny that number 14, TTM, number 15, Chipa United, are in the final of the Nedbank Cup. Mark, hop in there. Your thoughts?
First of all, I want to start off by saying, remember there was a time when there was a certain, I can't remember, but a certain club that was also flirting with relegation. And then they fired the coach, and then they got in a certain Pizzo Musimani, and then they won things. All I'm saying is that watch out. Chiefs might be back next season. They might conquer Africa. Anyway,
Hey, nobody might.
Hey, might.
The key word in that statement, might. Might be, might not be.
We don't know the future, but I'm saying the future does repeat itself. But, anywho, PSL. I think when it comes down to it, Black Leopards has been in the bottom half for more weeks than, or let me rather say they've been in the relegation zone in the last 3 seasons more than any other team probably. So I think it's about time. It's about time they went down to the NFD. I don't see them surviving. I mean, you look at their form, 3 losses and 2 draws in the last 5 games. It's not looking only. I think if I look at the form properly, only Chipa has a worse off form, which Chipa has got 4 losses and 1 draw. So, man, I think the only chance they have is probably making playoffs, but I don't see that happening. So, goodbye, Black Leopards. I'm sure they'll be glad, Africa, to have you in the NFT next season.
Oh my goodness, I live for this podcast. You'll be very glad to have you in the NFT. Nice one. Una, hop in there.
No, Leopards, I'm actually very glad that the football gods are doing this. Having Black Leopards and Chipa United down there. What Chipa Mpengesi has been doing to coaches and even players is not really on. I think we need to put this on record that what he's been doing is actually playing with people's futures and careers, because it literally just breaks their whole reputation. And it's the same thing that has been happening to Leopards, as much as it's not as highlighted as it is done at Chipa, but if you look at the numbers, they've literally had same number of coaching changes since Chipa has joined the Premier League. It's about 26 or 25 coaches each in the past 10 years. That's crazy. So I'd really love to see them getting out of the Premier League because they're making a mockery of the Premier League. This is the top league in South Africa, and we don't deserve such people running our football. So I think Black Leopards go out straight drop. I don't see them coming back. Cheaper, they might just make it through the playoffs and come back, but my wish is that they also go down. TTM are on the rise, which is they're on the rise. Step in the king, national wage, something. At least it's helping out. They're in the Nedbank final. And it's very crazy that now that I look at it, that the number 14th and 15th team are in the Nedbank Cup final.
It's weird, man. It's crazy.
One of those teams is going to Confederation Cup.
Yes.
No, they're just going there to add numbers. Trust me.
Same way TS did.
Imagine a Black African Championship team playing in CAF Confederation. Oh, well, it happened with TS Galaxy. I guess it's going to happen again with Chippa United because I think Chippa might just edge TTM in the Nedbank Cup.
But I mean, if Kaizer Chiefs would reach the quarterfinals, an NFT team can do it as well, no?
We're talking of two different types of teams here. Cannot compare.
But it's the same level, it's the same level. This current team, in fact, TTM is better.
Same level how?
But didn't TTM beat you guys, Hunt? If I remember very well this season.
No.
I think they did.
They did. TTM beat Kaizer Chiefs, didn't?
Kaizer Chiefs. No, I don't remember that happening.
They beat Kaizer. Oh, no, you did. No. You won. You won 3-0. Sorry, I apologize.
Isn't that the game that I got a red card and I was celebrating like, I was celebrating the win.
All right, now let's take it to the top of the Premier League. You know that historically 60 points is what you need in the PSL to win the league. And now there's only 5 teams which can literally reach 60 points mathematically. You've got Mamelodi Sundowns, you've got Golden Arrows, you've got Amazulu, you've got Pirates, you've got Swallows. SuperSport United all the way down, they cannot reach 60 points. Now you've got Sundowns who only need 13 points to reach 60. Golden Arrows need 19, Amazulu need 19, Pirates need 23, Swallows need 25. Now, Sundowns has 9 matches left. Golden Arrows have 7 matches left. To reach 60 points, Arrows need to win 6 games and draw 1. Sundowns only need to win 4 games and draw 1. Amazulu as well need to win 6, draw 1. Pirates need to win 8 games. No, need to win 7 games rather and draw 1. Swallows as well need to win 7 games and draw 1. Who's winning the league this season? Let's be realistic. Mark, please come forth. Come to the front of the congregation. Explain
and
to
be
us.
Audible. And be audible, please.
Who's winning the league this season? And there was silence from Mark. Mark?
No, the mic was muted. Anyway, it's very obvious. Sundowns is taking it because, I mean, they already have 6 points on the next best team, which is Arrows, but they also have 2 games in hand. That means they can stretch the lead up to my mathematics 12. So, guys, let's just wrap it up. I mean, it's done. They're not going to pull a Chiefs, so yeah, it's a done deal. I think right now it's for maybe Benny to try and get into Africa. Arrows might also, so. But I think it's going to be interesting who makes up the African spots. Because I mean, Pirates has got a game in hand, 3 points behind. Swallows, as much as they've been drawing so many games, they're in with a shout. So it's going to be interesting. I think the 4 teams can still make the African competitions. So we'll see. It will be exciting. But I mean, with 21 games played, you've got 47.6 points ahead. It's over, man. It's over. I don't see them losing it.
I just want this for clarity. Wait, hold on. Just for clarity, who's winning the league? Say it loudly, say it proudly.
It's small clap from Chlorocop. Thank you. I'll listen to the radio.
As Ona's gonna negate, he's gonna negate. Let's see Ona. Ona's probably gonna negate. Let's see.
Ona, who's winning the league? Let me save Jackie for last. Jackie, you're gonna be last. I'm saving the best team for last. Ona, who's winning the league?
First of all, it's really great to see Durban teams doing it good in the PSL. It's been a while we actually hear of Durban teams, actually KZ teams overall, doing good in the PSL. I think you go back to the Durban City days. But anyways, Benny, I think Benny is doing it good that side. That's the difference actually in Amazulu's season, this season and last season, when he's bringing in that fighting spirit. I think if Gavin Hunt had the same spirit at Kaizer Chiefs, they would have been doing much better even with the old squad that they have. But what Benny's doing, that's really good. I also need to give a big up to Mantla Nikazi. What's this? Mantla there by Golden Arrows. He's also doing great work, proving exactly that he was the head and the musketeer was the Molala there. He was not the thinking, he was not the engine of Golden Arrows last season. And in terms of Morocco Swallows, I think Morocco Swallows are just going to drop down into the dogfight for the top 8. And the draw situation is just getting too much. I think in the past 10 games, they've only won 2. And yeah, I think they're going to go down. And Pirates is hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. I know Jackie loves Zimbabwe, but I don't see them even making the champions, the CAF sports. And congratulations to 2020-2021 champions, Mamelodi Sundowns.
Okay, my man, Jackie, you have the floor. You've been given the PSL. Make it with it.
Before Jackie, I have something that I need to get off my chest, and it's a message to Bobby Mtaung and the rest of the Kaizer Chiefs club. Labona again. You guys are making it very, very difficult for us to be on a podcast. We cannot talk about Chiefs in peace. We can't, because you guys don't want to fix your mess. Please fix the mess at Naturena so that we may come onto this podcast and actually have something to say. Because right now, the Sundowns fans are busy throwing it in our faces that we are bad. We need to do something. So Kevin Hunt, if you must resign, brother. Yeah?
No, my brother. I think what's happening at Chiefs right now is hashtag bring back brown envelopes should be trending. Tell me if I'm lying.
We're not Barcelona, man. We're not Barcelona. Leave us alone.
There's a certain thread on Twitter. I'm gonna share it with you, gents. Where basically someone tweeted that if you're a Sundowns fan and you are feeling painful for Chiefs and you're feeling sorrowful for Chiefs, you're not a real Sundowns fan after what they've done to Sundowns in so many cup finals. We've been denied penalties. We've been denied offsides that are magical. Nobody understands how it was an offside. We've been abused too much. We've been abused by Kaizer Chiefs too much. It's only time that now that the brown envelope has been closed, the real football is being played. Jackie, you have the floor.
I thank you for this opportunity. Let's start with let's start with the Morocco Swords. I think Morocco Swords, I think even Mohau said it. Mohau even said it. They've done enough. They've done enough to at least stay in the top 8 this season. As much as they've got a lot of draws, I think they will get an top 8 spot. Looking at the Pirates, Pirates but based on the quality that they have, as much as I find they're not consistent, based on the quality they have, I think they will still just sneak in the an African spot for next season. I would like to see, I'd like to see Amazulu going, maybe making it to the Champions League next season. I think that would be great. Or probably Golden Arrows. I think Golden Arrows has been superb. For me, that coach who was mentored by a certain coach at Mamelodi Sundowns has really, really done well. I think he's done very well at Golden Arrows. But I think they can probably make it into the Confed Cup. I don't know Champions League. I think Pirates might just take that spot. Yeah, and in terms of who's going to win the championship, that's okay. It's obvious. For the fourth time in a row, the biggest team in South African football, the biggest team in Southern African football, Mamelodi Sundowns will take the title again in next season, even the season after. If they can buy whoever Kaizer Chiefs there, don't change any different. Don't make any difference. We're still going to win the title next season, because I just want the boys to win at least the next 4 games. Then we can start preparing for preseason for next season.
We can start preparing for CAF. We have a start. We have a second start.
I want to start preparing for the knockout stage for CAF. And plus I think we also have the draw next week, so we can start preparing for that. So Downs has to make sure that the 2 games they have in hand, they have to win that game. Starting against Kaizer Chiefs this weekend. If they win that game and they beat Golden Arrows and beat Pirates again, and beat who's the next team after Orlando Pirates, I don't know. But if we win the next 4 games and get that final point in the 5th game, we're done with the league. Then we now know that we can prepare for the CAF Championship, CAF Champions League knockout stages, and then start preparing for preseason for next season. Because I think we have done enough.
I love it. I'm not gonna lie, I love it. I'm absolutely happy with what's happening right now in the PSL. So it's turning into a farmers league though. But I want to talk about Vinnie Mccarthy real quick. Vinnie McCarthy started like a house on fire at Cape Town City. Same way he's doing right now at Amazulu. But I don't know if it's complacency. I don't know if it's he has the same playing style. I don't know what went wrong at Cape Town City, but he started becoming, a regular coach at Cape Town City after a while. Or is Benny really going to keep up these results next season? Are we going to be having the same Amazulu next season, this time of the season? Jackie, what are your thoughts on that one?
No. A big no. Guys, let's be honest. As much as Benny's done what in a short space of time, for me, the last 6 games, if you exclude the game at Sundowns, Amazulu has not really been tested. The only game we can actually say they were really, really tested was against Super Sports United, which they eventually won. But they played against your Cheaper United, they played against your TTM, they played against your Black Leopard Stellenbosch. The only game they were actually tested was against Sundowns. And that was not a fresh Mamelodi Sundowns team. And they failed to beat Sundowns. Then he's got the nerve to say that, fine, Sundowns were parking the bus. But Sundowns had 2 shots at goal, 2 shots on target against Amazulu. They had nothing. So it tells you something. I don't think this thing what Benny's done, Benny is great. He's doing great at Amazulu. Yeah, I don't think so. For me, I think if he has a full season of Amazulu next season, I don't think he will perform the same way he's performing currently. I'm not saying that he's not really getting results, but he's getting results. But I don't think they'll be in the top 3 or top 4 like what's happening right now this season. I think just like Cape Town City, he most probably just might win domestic cup trophies like your MTN8 and TKO if it's coming back next season. That's where it's going to end. But for them to actually compete and potentially win the league title, I don't think so.
Tricky one. Ona, your thoughts on Vinnie McCarthy's coaching?
I really hope that in next season he's going to do well. For mine is that I hope with Cape Town City, it was his first time coaching a big team. Not a big team in terms of trophies, but a big team. And not a developmental team or assistant coach or whatnot. So it was his first time. I really hope that he learned from that stint. And then when it comes to Amazulu, I think let's also channel the fact that with football, it's also a psychological game wherein as much as you have the skills on the field, But if the psyche is not there, you don't actually do well. And what Benny did is he actually got a very good team around him. He has Monip there, he has Belen Omvete there, he has the assistant coach, the one who was at Cape Town City, and himself, and the chairman of the team, Sandy Lizungu. Those people, when you look at the type of people that they are, they're people who they constantly push you. They constantly push you. And I think that's something that is actually even showing with Amazulu when they get on the field. And yeah, I really hope that carries him. But as much as I'm saying that football is also the side, he also needs to bring the tactical side to it. And based on what he was doing at Cape Town City, he's very good when it comes to beautiful football and attack football. But at the back, there's nothing. And like Jackie said, in the past few games, they were not really tested. In the Sundowns game, it was a slow boxing game. And in that slow boxing game, he didn't throw the right punches. And I think if he can work in that, even when he's playing a very good team or a very weak team, try to actually kill the game, try to actually take the game to the next team. So yeah, I think he might pull through in terms of motivation wise, but in terms of tactics, I don't see him being a very good coach in terms of a long term period. Short term, yes.
I feel you. Mark, thoughts real quick. Need to wrap up in a bit.
Benny is rather interesting because I think look at his inspiration to probably coach is probably Jose Mourinho, and we all know what a hothead Jose Mourinho is. So I'm not saying anything about Benny, but I mean, if the dog quacks, I mean, you know. But I think if he gets the right support and if he's given enough freedom to be himself, I think we'll probably see the best of a South African coach. So it will be interesting to see what happens next season because we all know that it's difficult for other clubs other than Sundowns, Pirates, and Chiefs to keep hold of players. So if they can keep hold of their players, acquire more talent in the coming season, I think it will be very interesting to see what Benny does with it because he was brought in to kind of calm the egos in the squad or to rather manage them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next season. Should they qualify for Africa, they're going to need more players. So it will be definitely interesting to see whether Benny can handle a bigger squad with bigger egos next season. I think this season he's done well. He's given who's this boy? Thabo Kadinge. He's given him a new lease of life. We'll just see how long that lasts because we all know he starts strong and then he just fades away. So it'll be interesting to see how he manages him, how he manages that dressing room going forward. So yeah, man, it'll be very interesting.
All right, let's wrap up real quick. Kaizer Chiefs playing Mamelodi Sundowns on Sunday at 3 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Now, score predictions. My score prediction is Kaizer Chiefs 0, Mamelodi Sundowns 4. So if you're on Betway, please, Mamelodi Sundowns over 1.5. Onarine, your prediction real quick.
2-1.
To who?
The Village.
Panda. All right.
Sasto is one of the scorers.
Okay, Mark, your opinion, your prediction?
It's going to be my favorite scoreline, a 2-2 draw.
Hey, we in dreamland here. Kaizer Chiefs scoring 2 goals against Sundowns. Jackie, your thoughts? Your prediction?
5-1.
5-1.
In favor of Mamelodi Sundowns.
Why am I the only one here in this podcast that thinks Chiefs is not gonna score?
You know these people, they're probably gonna get that weight offside, and you know there's certain referees that are bought by certain clubs. One goal in but I'm telling you, 5 goals are coming for Sundowns. Shasha with a brace, Mushishi with a brace, and a goal from Maluleka just in GA against his former club.
Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you very much for this podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure hosting you, gents. It's been an absolute pleasure anchoring this podcast. Such a beauty having such great minds. By the way, if I ever buy a soccer team, I'm letting you guys know now. Ona is my head of football, president or chairperson. But Ona, you deserve it, Chief. If we buy TTM next week, I for a permanent job, Ona. Clear.
Kiyabonga. Wa utlwa ke a mixa le dipuo. Kiyabonga.
My goodness.
Oh man. All right, closing thoughts from you. Ona, let's start with you. Closing thoughts.
My closing thoughts is I tell your grandmother about our podcast, subscribe,
Yes.
like, do everything just to get our word out there that the best podcast in the country is out.
All right, Jackie, closing thoughts real quick.
To all the listeners, continue supporting us. A big thank you to everybody who's been listening to our episodes. I've been hearing some positives and some negatives, but we're learning from it, and we're trying to live our best to be better and better every single episode. A big shout out to everybody for supporting us.
Thank you. Mark, you're up next.
Bobby. Then that's all I have to say.
Can you repeat that?
Bobby's fixing the country, man.
Bobby must just fix our club. We don't want too much. Fix our club, Bobby. And that's what we want.
Bobby must continue as he is. All right, it's been another episode of us here at the Banter Club SA. Thank you very much for tuning in. We absolutely appreciate you. Like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell your grandmother to subscribe and like and follow and retweet everything that we post. We're going to do our best to give you the absolute best content and the best banter possible. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for following us. We absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. Love and light to you and yours. Peace.
Join us every week on The Banter Club.